What is up everyone, welcome to your Astute update for the 16th of February. This is our news show breaking down all the latest in the world of professional Overwatch, and what a week it has been. Just because stage 1 is now over does not mean that the news cycle has slowed down in the slightest. From trade negotiations to new signees and more, let's jump right into the top stories. To start, let's talk about the big trades, a first in Overwatch history. Two players from the Stage 1 championship team, the London Spitfire, have been traded over to new teams. Dallas Fuel picked up Rascal, a veteran DPS player known primarily for his capabilities with Soldier, Genji, and Pharah. This acquisition, alongside the recent signing of AKM, now means that the Dallas Fuel roster contains 5 DPS players, also including Seagull, Taimu, and Effect. The LA Gladiators added an 8th player to their roster as they introduced Fisher to the lineup, a more recent star on the scene known entirely for his exceptional tank play. Funnily enough, both the LA Gladiators and Dallas Fuel finished Stage 1 of the league with remarkably similar records. The Gladiators won 4 of their 10 matches with a map count of 16 wins and 26 losses. Close behind, the Boys in Blue scored 3 series wins in the first stage with a map count of 15 wins, 25 losses, and 3 draws. These trades mark the first in Overwatch League history, and both players will be able to compete for their new teams at the start of Stage 2 on the 22nd of February. Next up in the news, we have the signing of some major talent to various teams in the league. Firstly, Florida Mayhem announced the signings of Sayer Player and Awesome Guy, DPS and tank specialists respectively. The Shanghai Dragons officially announced the long-rumored additions to their roster in the form of 4 new signees. Sky, a support player, Gaguri, a flex tank, Ado, a flex player, and Fearless, a main tank, are all of the new additions to the roster. Although she doesn't entirely appreciate the emphasis being on her as the first female player in the league, as Gaguri would rather be recognized for her talents in-game above all else, a noble mindset, it is nevertheless a significant step forward for the league as a whole. Signing the very first female competitor is sure to bring about tons of new fans for the Shanghai squad. Side note, as mentioned on Twitter, the 4 new players will unfortunately not be able to compete until midway through Stage 2 due to visa issues. Both New York Excelsior and Seoul Dynasties signed backup support players in the form of Gambler and Animo. Whilst these players might not see too much stage time, we know just how important backup players can be, having recently seen Clockwork fill in the shoes of Linksa for the Houston Outlaws. Also in the news are some huge balance updates for various heroes in the PTR. The full patch notes are as follows. Doomfist can now shoot slightly faster as his hand cannon has an increased recovery rate from 0.8 seconds to 0.65 seconds per bullet. Mei is now able to freeze targets a little easier as the time a target is slowed down has been increased from 1 second to 1.5 seconds, making her a harder opponent to get away from. Also, her alternate fire ammo cost has been reduced from 25 to 20. Lastly, Sombra has received the biggest changes of all. Most notably in the patch notes is that her opportunist passive ability, allowing her to see targets through walls, has been massively improved. Previously, the passive ability would only trigger when an opponent's health was at less than 50%. Now, Sombra will be able to see any damaged opponents through walls as the ability activates when any opponent's health is less than 100%. Sombra's machine pistol will also have less spread moving forward. Her translocator will remain on the map for 20 seconds now as opposed to 15 seconds. Another huge update is that her time to hack has been reduced from 0.8 seconds to 0.65, whilst also cancelling out more abilities than ever before. Movement abilities in particular, ranging from Hanzo's wall climb to Pharah's hover jets, will no longer work once hacked. To balance out these improvements, Sombra will no longer be able to gain ult charge from teammates using hacked health packs. Overall, a very significant overhaul for the hero moving into the next stage of the Overwatch League, especially considering the shift in meta thanks to the huge Mercy nerfs. On top of this, principal designer Jeff Goodman has taken to the Blizzard forums recently to explain that they are indeed looking into Hanzo's scatter arrow ability. Internally, the team has tested changes to the scatter arrow, new abilities entirely, as well as an interesting idea wherein Hanzo could voluntarily stop shooting arrows for a few seconds in order to entirely replenish his special arrow abilities much faster than usual. Lastly in the news today, Blizzard announced scheduling changes moving into Stage 2 of the league. Starting next Wednesday, the weekday schedule will be standardized, meaning that all weekday matches will commence at 4 PM Pacific Standard Time. Saturday matches will now begin at 1 PM Pacific Standard Time, and the stage finals have thankfully been moved to a Sunday, starting at 1 PM Pacific Standard Time. These are welcome changes for the American fanbase, however European fans have drawn the short end of the straw again in regards to scheduling, as games will now start at 11 PM Eastern European Time and 9 PM for fans located in London. That is a tough ask for even the most passionate fans of the league, especially on weeknights. Perhaps we will see more adjustments made in the near future, but for now, that has been your Astute update. Do discuss the latest changes in the comments below. Let us know how you think the PTR changes will affect the meta, or whether the new signees can turn things around for the Shanghai Dragons. As always, thanks for watching, see you in the next one.